In my opinion, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian moved way too fast in their relationship. They had only been together 9 months, and in that 9 months, it seemed very intense. I think that Pete Davidson was more in love with Kim than Kim was more in love with Pete Davidson. Hello, hello, lovely people. Welcome to my virtual couch. Happy Friday to you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about borderline personality disorder. We're also going to talk about Pete Davidson because he just recently revealed that he has been diagnosed with BPD. So we're going to delve into his background and how that came to be. And you know what? I actually did see some signs of BPD in his relationship with Kim. In my last video, it was actually my first vlog. I went to Napa Valley to celebrate my girl who's getting married. It was a good time. So I got this information from his Wikipedia page, okay? So first, I think let's talk about borderline personality disorder, what it is, what it isn't. I'm going to give the definition, the DSM-5 definition of borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is a mental illness that severely impacts a person's ability to regulate their emotions, okay? This loss of emotional control can increase impulsivity, affect how a person feels about themselves, and negatively impact their relationships with others. So think about the latter part, negatively impact their relationship with others. What are the main symptoms of BPD? So that's the abbreviated version is BPD. The biggest symptoms that I see in my clients that have BPD is the fear of abandonment. People that have BPD are terrified of being abandoned or being left alone. And that feeling of abandonment, or even that, let me back up. That perceived fear of abandonment may cause them to act out in ways that may not be rational. But keep in mind, is their perceived fear are in unstable relationships. So you might see, hey, I'm friends with you 1 minute, then I'm not. I might put you on a pedestal 1 minute, then I don't. That's very important. They might have a clear or a shifting self-image. Okay, so they're always looking at themselves in a negative way, questioning themselves, a self-destructive thought process. Self-harm, that is a main thing that I see with most of my clients that have BPD. What is self-harm? Self-harm could be cutting. Self-harm could be picking up skin, pulling up hair, pulling up eyelashes. Can be getting multiple tattoos. I'm not saying that people that have multiple tattoos have borderline personality disorder, but I often find that people that have borderline personality disorder inflicts pain. So they thrive from inflicting the pain on themselves. Okay, so any form of self-harm is the main symptom of borderline personality disorder. Extreme emotional swings. So 1 minute I'm great, I feel good. Another minute I don't. Now that can also be similar to bipolar disorder. About bipolar disorder in another video. A lot of times a person with BPD can be misdiagnosed as bipolar. So I'll talk about that in another video. But basically, just explosive anger and the shift in mood can cause extreme anger and just chronic feelings of emptiness. Okay, so that's an overview of BPD. Let's talk a little bit about the causes of BPD. The main cause of BPD is unknown, but what we do see with people that have BPD is a history of trauma, loss, functional backgrounds, okay? Lots of trauma. Pete Davidson. So he is 30 years old. He is from Staten Island, okay? He was born November 16th, 1993. And they describe him as an American comedian, actor. I know Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live. That's where, I mean, he's had a lot of different movie roles, but I really know him from Saturday Night Live. But it says here he was on Saturday Night Live for 8 seasons from 2014 to 2022. Okay. A little bit about his background. So his father, Scott Davidson, was a New York firefighter who died in 2001 at the World Trade Center during the September 11th attacks. Okay, that's very important. So his father passed away when he was 7 years old. So think about that, right? 7 years old, your father died, right? That's a huge trauma. Here that his father was last seen running up the Marriott World Trade Center. That's the last time somebody had some sort of contact with him. Okay. All of a sudden, you lose your dad, and your mom is a widow. And it's been quoted that he said that his father passing away was overwhelming and filled with thoughts of unaliving himself when he was younger. YouTube, you have to be careful about certain things that you say, but you guys know what I mean. He uses comedy as a way to cope. Side note: a lot of comedians use humor to cope with trauma. Well, Kevin Hart talks about his alcoholic father a lot, and he uses that in a comedic way. But imagine having a father who abandoned you, that didn't have that had issues with alcohol. Imagine that had how that impacted your life. So I'm not surprised that Pete Davidson used comedy to basically cope with his trauma. Now it says here that his comedic style is a lot about his life. He even jokes about the loss of his dad, and he jokes about highly sensitive subjects. He says that he uses comedy to empower himself to address his feelings of powerlessness. So imagine losing your dad at age 7. You feel helpless, you feel powerless, right? And I also don't know how his family helped him to cope with the grief. Oftentimes, my clients that have had significant losses at a young age will say, no one really sat me down to talk about what this loss meant for me, because the adult themselves are trying to cope, right, and deal, and so those feelings of not being heard or being validated, or somebody not getting help, shows up in present day. So that's really important to think about. Okay, now remember I was talking about self-harm, right? It says here Pete Davidson has over 40 tattoos. Clients say to me, I'm in so much pain that I like to see it in a physical form. And sometimes that happens, like I don't know how to express the pain. I don't know how to release the pain. So I like to see the pain. So that might be in the form of seeing blood come from my skin, feeling the physical pain, et cetera, et cetera. So Pete Davidson was diagnosed with Crohn's disease at the age of 17 or 18. And he receives intravenous biological therapy and uses medical marijuana for pain management and recreation. Crohn's disease is where it's a health disorder, it's a health condition where there's a lot of weight loss. Because if you see Pete Davidson, he looks very thin and frail. He's like frail looking, right? That's why I wasn't really sure why Kim was attracted to him, because to me he's not attractive, right? Then it causes fatigue. So Pete Davidson has been open about his use. He's been very open about that, right? He's been in multiple rehabs, and it says here that he has been sober now for about 8 years, which is good. Hopefully he can keep going. He says here that he thinks that his daily marijuana use was caused, he says, Pete Davidson has been very open about his past drug use, right? Now, he says he's been sober for 8 years, which is good. I hope he continues that. Says that his daily marijuana use was actually caused by his newly diagnosed borderline personality disorder, for which he has been since undergoing treatment. I don't know how I feel about that statement, because I think that he was probably misdiagnosed a long time ago. Now, he is 30 and he just got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, but I have a feeling that he's been had it. I think it's more than just his daily marijuana usage. I think there's a lot of different layers to it. I think his trauma. I think his untreated trauma has also caused the borderline personality disorder. So I'm not really in agreement with that relation. Let's go over the timeline over his relationship with Kim K. Okay, some things stick out to me. Kim K and Pete Davidson, and they were only together for like 9 months. They actually met October. Now, keep in mind, think about the timeline. They met October 2019 when Kim appeared on SNL. After that, November 16, 2021, Kim throws Pete Davidson a 28th birthday party. Kind of quick. Now, it also says that, now keep in mind they met in October, right? And then in a few months after that, you're seen in matching pajamas. I don't know about you, but if I'm dating somebody, I'm not about to wear matching pajamas with you in a couple of weeks, right? But they were seen wearing matching pajamas. Then they were seen vacationing in Bahamas. They moved really quickly. February 7th, 2022, Pete Davidson calls Kim Kardashian his girlfriend. So you guys met in October, November, December, January, February. He calls Kim Kardashian his girlfriend. Okay. They celebrate Valentine's Day together. That's great, right? And then in March, they make it Instagram official. You know, when you make it Instagram official, it's like everybody's like, ooh. But what stuck out to me was that a few weeks later, right, they're making red carpet debuts. This is April 30th. They made their red carpet debut. So now that's really official, right? They go to the Met Gala. The Met Gala is this big ball for celebrities. I mean, it's a huge deal putting him on that kind of platform, right? That was back in May. What is interesting is that Pete Davidson has a bunch of tattoos of Kim and her kids. Now, you all have been together for less than a year and already you're tattooing her kid's name on your body. That's kind of quick, right? That level of commitment. Now, I know that Kim Kardashian was on the Ellen show and she was like, oh, but isn't that what people with tattoos do? Yeah, people with tattoos, have a lot of tattoos, but putting your kids' names, that's pretty personal. Like that should have been a red flag to her. Like, wait a minute, we're dating, we're getting to know each other, and you have my kid's name tattooed on you. Okay, like wait a minute. And then he also has a tattoo that says my girlfriend is a lawyer. Now you guys know that Kim K is like they call it like a baby lawyer because she passed the baby bar. You know, she's been getting all these people out of jail or prison. What's interesting is that in September 2022, she's on the Late Show and she goes, I just want to chill for a minute. I think I need some time to myself to focus, finish school, and all that. But I think my next route, I feel like I have to go to different places. Clearly, it's not working, whatever I'm doing. I think she knew, like, hold on, wait a minute. This guy's moving way too fast. People with borderline personality disorder can be in a relationship, move very quickly, and put you on such a high pedestal that it becomes a lot of pressure. Oftentimes, with my clients that have BPD, they may meet somebody and 2 months later they're like, oh, I'm in love. I'm like already planning the wedding in my head. We went and bought a puppy together. I had a client that has BPD. She started dating somebody, and then 2 months later they bought a puppy together. That's a huge commitment. Like, you've only known this guy for like 60 days. Like, slow down, right? And so now she's forming all these things in her head, like, oh, I know we're gonna get married. Told her my deepest, darkest secrets. That's also a red flag, right? Like, if you've been meeting somebody and it's been like 2 months and all of a sudden they divulge everything. I'm not saying be secretive, but when they're telling you really personal stuff, like, I had this trauma happen to me when I was younger, like really, really early on. I had a client that he went on a first date, and on the first date told girl that he was SA'd, when he was younger. That's the first date. She never had a date with him again, right? But they've been talking online and he was so intrigued with her. He was like, I feel like I got to be honest with her. That's a red flag, right? So I think Kim started noticing, like, wait a minute, okay, he's moving way too fast. And keep in mind, she just came out of a divorce, right? So she's like wanting to have fun. I wonder if they're on two different levels. First of all, she's way older than him, okay? She's got 4 kids, been married a few times, right? And so he's already like forming this commitment in his head, and she's probably like, wait a minute, I just want to have fun. So I think around the 6 month, keep in mind, they were on together for 9 months. I think around the 6 month mark, she was like, wait a minute, something's off, right? So then it says October 2020, October 2022, fans suspect that Pete Davidson removed his tattoo dedicated to Kim Kardashian. He started the process of removing his "My Girl as a Lawyer" tattoo, right? So I think it was he started like, okay, wait a minute, she's not feeling me as I'm feeling her. Then January 2023, Pete Davidson's removed tattoos dedicated to Kim Kardashian. So you didn't put all these tattoos on your bodies, and now you're like, okay, now let me remove them, you know? And then it says they broke up. Oh, and then also, here's the thing. Not only did he have tattoos of her, but he had branding of her. And then finally, May 25th, 2023, says Kim Kardashian reflects on her breakup with Pete Davidson. Breakups are just like not my thing. She said it's obviously sad. She also admitted she felt a lot of guilt. See, look. She also admitted she felt a lot of guilt after the split because Davidson went through a lot because of my relationship with Kanye. If Pete Davidson was in a healthier frame of mind, he would have been like, look, what the relationship that you have with your ex-husband is different than the relationship that I have with you. Let me just like back up. Let's just slow it down. Let's just kind of figure things out because it seemed like Pete Davidson went in way too quickly. Like you're already getting tattoos of the children, of Kim, you're getting Brandon, you're fighting with the ex. Pete Davidson has also had short stints of relationships, right? You gotta look at a person that has BPD, they have quick, short, intense relationship. Like they might be in a relationship with someone for 6 months and it might feel like 6 years because it's so intense, right? Like things are moving very quickly, which again, if you have a history of untreated trauma, there is that fear of abandonment. So it's like, I got to go all in. People that have BPD have often a anxious attachment style, meaning if your spouse is or if your partner is away from you for a long period of time, it increases the anxiety and you want to cling on to them more, right? They may be considered clingy. People that are diagnosed with borderline personality disorder engage in a lot of risky behaviors. For example, they may drive recklessly, engage in gambling, they may engage in promiscuity. They may meet somebody and have sex with them today. Now, yes, look, people have one night stand, no judgment. But people that are diagnosed with BPD, this is a recurring thing. They are engaging in risky sexual behavior, may sleep with multiple partners without protection, just any risky behavior that could potentially cause harm. I've had clients diagnosed with BPD. They get their paycheck and literally they have bills to pay and will spend it all. Okay, drinking excessively. Again, self-harm is a classic symptom of people diagnosed with BPD. Pete Davidson showed a lot of impulsivity in his relationship with Kim K. From the tattoos, from intense commitment. People that have BPD, 1 minute they can intensely love you and the next minute they can intensely hate you. In my next video, we're going to talk about ADHD. What is ADHD? How do you manage it? What are symptoms? What to look out for? If you feel you have ADHD, what are some resources that you can access to get testing? My subscriber count is slowly increasing, so I appreciate that. I thank you all for the support. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, y'all. So subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.